Good morning, neighbors. Let's sing an old hymn. On Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land, where my possessions lie. All o'er those wide extended plains shines one eternal day, where my Lord forever reigns and scatters night away. I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. No chilling wind nor poisonous breath can reach that healthful shore, where sickness, sorrow, pain, and death are felt and fear no more. I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. When shall I see that happy place and be forever blessed? When shall I see my Father's face and in his bosom rest? I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. I am bound, I am bound, I am bound for the promised land. That is where we are heading. We are heading for the promised land, but there are warnings along the way. I want to read in Numbers chapter 14. And this is, they've come upon the promised land. They're right there at the door. God has destroyed Egypt, released the children of Israel. They've marched there as a, it's kind of like when I sing that song, I think of like we're marching towards the promised land. They reach Kadesh, Bernea. And suddenly they send in spies, and they tell them, this is, there's giants in the land. Oh, it's going to be so difficult. No, even though God's destroyed Egypt for them and they've crossed the Red Sea and provided for them along the way. In chapter 14, so all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why has the Lord brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? I mean, think about what they're saying here. They've already killed their wives and children. These guys, they're going to kill us all. We should have just died back there. Never mind all the miracles we've seen. So they said to one another, let us select a leader and return to Egypt. And I often talk about the term one another. We can either help one another, encourage one another, and strengthen one another, or we can tear each other down. So these people, they come together as one another, and let's find a leader. Not Moses or Aaron or Joshua. Find someone who will take us back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes. They're upset because they know what can happen. They spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. This is what, they're trying to encourage one another, saying, listen, this is a beautiful land, and God delights in us. These people, we'll take them down like they're bread. They're nothing. We'll feed on them, and in victory. Their protection has departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. And all the congregations had to stone them with stones. Now the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of meeting before all the children of Israel. God, he's not too thrilled with them. And they just doubted. And not only that, they are so afraid. Fear makes people do strange things. They get very angry. They want to stone Joshua and Caleb. Shut your mouths. We don't want to hear it. Because this is going to take something from us. It's going to take faith and courage and to go in here and do battle. There's a sermon I heard years ago, about Kadesh Bernea. We all come to a crossroads in our life. Are we going to cross in, or are we going to cower in fear? And God, he wants us to move along and possess the fullness of all that we can have, and really claim our inheritance, and it's ours. And we can look at these people and say, now me, I would be different. I would go in there and I'd be brave and I'd do this. But that's a historical thing in times of battle. People who have never really faced battles, in a natural, like World War II, I've read stories where the reserves would come in and say, oh, I'm going to, destroy Hitler and destroy Japan. I'm going to do all these amazing things. But then the first bullet they hear whiz past their heads, and they're looking for a hole to hide in. So we don't want to be prideful, but we want to be courageous. And God, he can give us these things. And we are all going to reach a point in our lives. Do I keep going or do I stop? Because tests and trials, they come, and God will take us to our own Kadesh Bernea. Because let's take it into the New Testament in 2 Peter. And in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. Talk about people who pervert Christian liberty. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are slaves of corruption. For by whom a person is overcome, by him also he is brought into bondage. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, they are again entangled in them and overcome, the latter end is worse for them than the beginning. For it would have been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than having known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered to them. So what he's saying, there's so many people, they start on this Christian walk, but he said it's better if they just never had started, because it's a testimony to the world that I've tried both and the world's better. I went this way a little while, but now I'm done. I'm stopping. The test or trials or temptations, whatever, they're just too much. I want to go back. And it's really the same spirit. Spirits don't die. Men and women, we all die. The spirits go on, and the same spirit that came upon them in Kadesh Bernea to make them cowards want to turn back, it is the same that is in Peter's day and in our day. No, this is too hard. I just want to stop. I want to go back. And it's a testimony of people who can't trust in God, and those who have claimed it now have turned their back on it. It's a terrible testimony at that time. But I will say this: we can all stop and start and turn back around and keep on heading towards the celestial city, to the heavenly city. And it's not over yet. So even if you've kind of turned and went the wrong way, stop, turn around, then come back the right way. So Lord, help us to encourage one another, and God bless you all, and have a good day.